When it comes to shopping on the World Wide Web, I've always been a fan of using eBay for one-of-a-kind Christmas gifts. I've been lucky so far and haven't bought anything cursed, either on accident or on purpose. I think the closest call I've had was a wand that I bought for a friend that almost didn't turn on the first time I tried it, but I think I can chalk that up to a glitch and not some malevolent spirit. Have you ever bought something weird from eBay? Let me know in the comments and let's crack this haunted stuff together, shall we? Alright, have you ever visited somewhere where you were sure a painting was following you with its eyes? How about a photo that just gave off like bad vibes? So one such item, a seemingly innocent photograph of a distinguished Victorian gentleman named Martin, emerged from the shadows of a dusty attic, akin to a forgotten relic from a long time past. Initially, it graced the owner's display, an intriguing conversation starter lifted from the sepia-toned pages of a forgotten family album. See, my apartment conversation starter is the tapestry of the popular Barbie movie universe character, Bibble, that takes up an entire wall of my living room. But hey, to each their own. Alright, back to the important stuff today. The passage of time is about to unravel an unsettling narrative woven around this seemingly innocent little picture. The anomaly wasn't visual, but more something you could smell, like an unsettling scent that clung to the photograph like an ethereal residue. The aroma, a mysterious blend of scents by the way, wafted from the each photograph, a scent symphony that defied the logic of temporal confinement. We've got roses dancing with the fragrance of burning embers, and a sharp essence of wood mingling with the air. The irregularity of these apparitions painted an eerie aura around the photograph, a scent-based enigma that was like, yo, what the heck? As the unsettling fragrances ebbed and flowed, a decision was made to reach out to the spectral presence suspected to be intertwined with the photograph's history. So what did they do? They grabbed a Ouija board. Yeah, the age-old conduit to the supernatural. It became the intermediary between the living and the spirit that was lingering between the photograph and the photograph's frame. The encounter was shockingly devoid of hostility. I say shockingly because hey, if there's one thing I will constantly preach against, it's the use of a Ouija board in any sense. It's like a telephone where you don't know who or what is going to answer and you can't trust anything. And what do you know? The whole household aura, it went from being great to being not so great. The paranormal curtain lifted, revealing a surge in unexplained phenomena that whispered of a restless energy tethered to said photograph. The decision was made. This photograph, now a vessel for the unknown, found itself exiled from the confines of the home, making its way into the hands of a collector. Where did the damn thing wind up? That I can't tell you, but I don't particularly want to come across it anytime soon. So if you bought a weird sepia picture from eBay, burn it, stick it in a trunk, I don't care, bury it for all I know. Well, we might as well stick with the demented artwork theme we've got going so far and move on to what is known as the haunted eBay painting, or the Hands Resistum. Based on a real-life photograph of the artist from around the time he was years old, this painting, a spectral dance of a young boy, a doll, and disembodied hands, traces its origins to an abandoned brewery, where a California couple stumbled upon its eerie presence. Soon after introducing the painting into the sanctum of their home, the couple, besieged by an unfolding narrative of the uncanny, decided to part ways with their newfound possession. So where did they go? Good old eBay! So they presented their artifact to the world, accompanied by a cautionary note that echoed with an ominous whisper: this painting may or may not possess supernatural powers that could impact or change your life. Good marketing or a genuine worry? Now let's see. The essence of their warning found roots in alleged nocturnal skirmishes between the painted boy and girl, an unsettling manifestation that their daughter ultimately revealed. As if extracted from the surreal realms of a ghost story, the advertisement carried whispers of the boy stepping beyond the confines of the canvas, an occurrence that served as the catalyst for their decision to relinquish their spectral acquisition. The curious drama surrounding this haunted masterpiece reached its crescendo when it found a new custodian in none other than Kim Smith, a gallery owner hailing from Michigan. The gavel of the digital auction pronounced a sum of $1,025, sealing the fate of the Hands Resistum. But the enigma surrounding this painting refused to be contained within the pixels of online transactions. In a revelation that either deepened the mystique or surprised nobody, depending on how you look at things, Kim Smith disclosed that her inbox bore witness to a procession of emails, testimonials from individuals claiming visceral reactions just by looking at a photograph of the painting. Reports of repulsion and physical illness became the postscript to the tale of the haunted eBay painting. This ordinary artifact turned conduit to the spectral, illustrating that even in the realm of like e-commerce, the line between the tangible and the ethereal can kind of blur, and not in a good way. Now, if you feel ill after my talking about this painting today, please let us know in the comments so we can do a 10-part experiment on everybody's psyche. I'm kidding. Don't you trust me? Here's something you don't see every day, or at least I don't. How about we try on a haunted bra for size? Not actually, you weirdos, just in theory. It's one of the weirdest, frightening, but maybe one of the least sanitary items posted on eBay on today's list. Alright, picture this folks. A one-time used bra, white and kinda ratty, and designed for a woman with a 32A bust. But it's also packing some major spirit power, or so claims Tanya Rose, the woman selling it. But this isn't a secondhand bra, it is a third hand bra, because the listing claims it belonged to a deceased woman, one who lived a life with a lot of amorous adventures and partying before she met an untimely end. So why would you want it? Because according to the seller, the spirit of this crazy lady never quite left. Her spirit is still hanging around in her bra, and anyone who wears it will inherit her success in the romantic world. Get ready for a big increase in the number of admirers and gifts. But it may not have wound up with a woman, because it supposedly has another ability. So if you're gonna put a lit white candle near the bra, the spirit of the woman will appear. But if you're gonna place a red candle, the owner's gonna come back and greet you with a very sensual encounter with the spirit world. And while this is terrifying at all, it kind of reminds me of another haunted bra from pop culture. Anybody remember George the bra from iCarly? Does anybody remember George the bra from iCarly? So he was this large pink bra who told ghost stories to anybody watching, and he made his first appearance on an iCarly sketch in the episode I Give Away a Car, and also appeared at the beginning of I Saved Your Life. Heck, at one time there was even a segment on the actual website, iCarly.com, that was dedicated to his stories. So I guess he's not the only haunted bra anymore. Okay folks, we're gonna move on to a different bust, object. Sorry, it was an easy joke, and I've spent way too much time lately around folks who have mastered the groaning style of humor. The genesis of this haunting creation is intertwined with the tragic demise of its creator, William. Crafting sculptures from unhardened clay was his passion, a pursuit that met an untimely end on the day he was crushed to death in a work-related accident at the brickyard. The statue, a product of that fateful day, stood as a spectral relic, a tangible link between the artist's final moments and the unknown afterlife. A twist in the tale comes as a fellow laborer, bearing witness to the aftermath of the tragedy, laid eyes on the forlorn statue at the job site the following day. The decision to take it home marked the inception of a series of unsettling events. Initially dormant, the statue's dormant malevolence sprang to life when it was unearthed from its storage confines and proudly displayed in the den. Now the den, once a sanctuary, because we all love a good cozy space, transformed into an oppressive space, laden with an unexplained heaviness that permeated the air. The mundane act of doors slamming of their own accord became an eerie symphony, with the culprit, upon investigation, revealing wide open portals into the unknown. Nearby decorations, juxtaposed with the malevolent sculpture, met their demise in spontaneous acts of shattering. The inanimate bust, anchored in the physical realm, defied the laws of, well, everything. It exhibited a will of its own, orchestrating a macabre ballet as it pivoted to face the wall without even the slightest human intervention. The surreal crescendo reached its peak when a dark shadow or mist, an elusive apparition, materialized in said den, heightening the spectral ambiance. Terrified by the unfolding supernatural saga, the owner was like, okay, let's get rid of this thing, I can't do it anymore. Desperation and fear impelled him to beseech a friend to orchestrate the artifact's exodus from his life, if you will. The friend, perhaps understanding the gravity of the situation, turned to eBay. I feel like Christian Borle when I say that. Thrusting the haunted statue into the labyrinthine corridors of online auctions, leaving its paranormal legacy for a new, unwitting custodian to unravel. And people wonder why young folks aren't buying random art to display in their homes anymore. Seriously. Alrighty everybody, we're gonna end today with some of my favorite haunted items in the whole wide world, haunted dolls. Since they're sadly a bit of a cliche, I figured it was best to save them until the end of our time, so I didn't risk anybody getting bored right off the bat, and so I wouldn't be tempted to turn today into a top 5 scary dolls for sale. Granted, I might still do that, to be determined. The doll that mostly caught my attention today was this beautiful Anne of Green Gables doll. With her copper braids, dark green dress, straw hat, and porcelain skin, she'd fit in really nicely amongst my personal collection. But this doll, located in Windsor, Ontario, came with a picture of her supposed spirit. The description says, "This is not a joke, she is very active." Now, I already own a couple of demon dolls, so maybe I don't want to mess with too many spirits. The seller claims that the doll was purchased at a garage sale 20 years ago and has moved positions on its own. And it could be yours for a mere $60 plus shipping, which is a steal if you ask me. I was performing at an oddities market recently, and the haunted dolls at that event were going for a premium. Mostly because in a crowd like that, it's pretty easy to find out if the item in question is a fake. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay, well let's see. We've got this event. It was run by a world-renowned mind reader who owns one of the most spirited dolls I've ever been in the presence of. If you've heard of Walt, yeah, his owner. Another one of the vendors was an extremely experienced tarot reader who can call BS in an instant. And hey, I was also there, and I can tell pretty quickly if a doll has a mind of its own or not after owning a couple of gals with, personalities if I'm being polite. I've mentioned a couple of times, but if you don't know anything about my cursed dolls, I do recommend pausing this video and watching the one I did on haunted dolls you've never heard about, where I did a big deep dive into my collection and my friend Mysterion's collection. So long story short, haunted dolls at events like that are the real thing. If Anne with an E wasn't creepy enough for you though, back in 2021, a doll from Sault Ste. Marie named Carini has apparently been heard saying her name out loud and even moves around sometimes. And moves around objects. The seller has added a disclaimer that you might not witness the paranormal activity described, so don't be disappointed if she behaves like the inanimate object that she is. And that's the thing with a lot of, demon dolls. It depends on who they're around, and if they want want to or not. And since I'm on a tangent anyways, there was another nightmare doll that caught my eye because she reminds me of my own Kissy Kissy Baby doll. Now this doll might look like any other, but according to the seller, it's pretty cursed. The seller, who specializes in selling paranormal items that people don't want anymore, says the doll's owner bought it at an antique shop and was told that it was cursed, but the seller used a lot of words that the gal didn't know, so she's like, you know what, it'll come home with me, whatever, I'll take care of it. So soon after, whenever she would open the doll that it came in or touch the doll, she would suffer from terrifying nightmares of shadow people. This continued for several months until her son took it from her to sell it, and it sold for only $17.49, which, once again, steal of a deal. And that brings us to the end of our time, and I think I'm gonna stick to getting my haunted items from markets where I know the sources. Besides, that way I save big time on the shipping costs and the risk. I've been Alexa, your resident ooky spooky girly, and if you enjoyed my ramblings today, could you help us out by giving this video a like, subscribing if you aren't already, hit the bell for more haunted content from us here at Top 5 Scary Videos, and I'll see y'all next time, you lovely spooky people.